Hello, my name is Heidi Gross and I'm a volunteer for the Business Advocacy Committee, which is part of the Chamber of Commerce here in Campbell County. And today I have with me Mr. Roy Edwards, who is running for state legislature, House District number 53. So I've asked Mr. Edwards to talk to us today about his views on the business climate here in Campbell County. So to begin with, Roy, can you please give us an example of how you have supported the businesses here in Campbell County in the past?
I've been in government for 22 years. I was 12 years in the city council, 8 on the county commission, and 2 in the legislature. And in all of those, I try to keep it so that government is business friendly with the business community. That's not trying to give them an advantage, nor trying to get in their way. It should be that business's opportunity to fail or make it, and it would be up to theirs whether they have a good product and whether they can make it work. It's not government's job to pick and choose winners and losers.
Okay. So do you have any ideas on what you could do as a state representative to improve the business climate here in Campbell County?
Well, I'll take you back a few years on that. The best recruiter that we had were the coal mines. They brought in a lot of service work, and with that there was opportunity to bring in more businesses that did side comparable work that would expanded the economy here. I don't know that worked very well, but the opportunities were there. I tried to talk to the former economic development guy to go to California and just tell them that we were open for business because they were leaving there in droves. And I'm not in favor of giving money to help people come, because if it isn't to that business's advantages, they will only stay as long as the money is there, or the opportunity is good for them to make money because of government. I think it needs to be totally up to the business. If they see that it's worth the investment for them to put the money in, they will come and they will stay, and they will make the effort to make a go of it because it's all their money. And as far as being in the legislature, I challenged the Wyoming Business Council, and I know some of the people that are going to be listening to this will have a problem with it, but they give a business ready grant to or outfit in Casper, and they turned around and took that money and sold that business and made a slew of money, and the state of Wyoming did not get help. They just gave up the money, and the guy that made the investment in doing it reaped all of the profit off of it. And I think that Wyoming should have been able to at least recapture what they'd given them, instead of letting them use taxpayer money to make a profit with. I disagree with taxpayers' money to help people start businesses. I think it ought to totally come from the private enterprise. I started mine that way, and I think everybody else ought to do it the same way.
Okay. So can you talk to us a little bit about what your vision is for the state of Wyoming, say the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, we're gonna, as everybody knows, we're having a problem with the federal government on coal. The oil and the natural gas are down too, so all the minerals are down. There is always opportunities to make money, and it's at that time where you make the investments and improvements that you want to have so that you can make it when the next run comes, when the prices are up. And in doing that, the opportunities will always be there for people if they will take the chance. If you don't take the chance, you will never get it. And like I said before, I don't believe that government should stand in the way. They ought to get out of the way. The planning regulations, I tried to, as a county commissioner, tried to keep them as a minimum, as well as I do in the legislature.
Okay, so as a state House representative then, do you have some thoughts on what you could do in that position to see that things move forward for the state of Wyoming? Do you have any ideas on what you could do?
Well, one of the best things that I think there is for the economy of the whole state of Wyoming is if the state of Wyoming were to get the federal lands back that they've been holding for the state of Wyoming. They actually belong to the state, but the federal government hasn't given them to us. Yeah, if you stop and think about the opportunities with the federal government holding those lands for us, they have managed a forest where they've totally destroyed the forest of Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And there would have to be a process to where once Wyoming gets that land, where we could have the beetle kill that is rampant in the land because the forests have not been logged and kept. And to get the forest back in healthy shape will take time. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, you give an opportunity for loggers as well as sawmills where they will once again invest their money in the state of Wyoming with the opportunity to make money when they see that they're going to have a product that will be there for generations and not be taken away from them and lose their business in short mm-hmm. order. And you have the opportunity also with the mining industry, or I should say just mineral industry in general, that land that is locked up that they are not able to get product off of will be opened back up so that that product would be taken off of there. And I'll give you an example of that. When I was a county commissioner over in the Wyoming range, there was a bill that Craig Thomas had supported when he was a senator, and I opposed it in the county commission and brought it forward through the County Commissioners Association, and we voted to oppose making that I think they called it a wild and scenic, but I can't mm-hmm. remember for sure. But anyway, in the Wyoming range, they had a great big gas field that they found over there, mm-hmm. and the federal government was looking to buy out those that owned the mineral rights to drill over there and the wells that had already been drilled, to buy them out so they'd plug the wells and go away. And there was somewhere between 25 and $50 billion worth of gas in there to be brought out that would be locked up. And some of them said that that's a beautiful part of Wyoming, and there's not an inch of Wyoming that you couldn't find somebody to say it wasn't beautiful mm-hmm. and should never be touched. But we will be doing our children a disservice if we don't at least give the opportunity for it to happen. There are so many areas that can be opened up if the state of Wyoming would be able to do it. The federal government is closing all the roads into the forest slowly, and people cannot use that land, so even the tourists can't get in there unless they walk in there. So the amount of people that are able to use it are very few. Mm-hmm. And the logging roads that are on there could be used. There would be a greater amount of people that would stay in Wyoming for a longer period of time to see the beauty that we have in this state. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the biggest areas that could be opened up to give opportunities for entrepreneurs that would want to start businesses. Mm-hmm. And the people that are listening to this will probably be able to figure out more ways. And there's another way of doing it through the livestock industry, where the federal government's been blocking people from using the national forest to graze. Mm-hmm. To have a healthy land, it must be grazed. You can't just let it sit with nothing eating it for a number of years and expect to have a healthy ground or crop that will be growing on it. Mm-hmm. It has to be grazed. And you think about it a little while, we could have one of the biggest booms in Wyoming if we had that federal land back, and it wouldn't be so costly to those that are using it. Instead of the over excess of having like in the mining industry, in the coal mining, of planting sagebrush and other exotic species, it will naturally come back on its own instead of making them waste money. If they were able to put it back in a as good or better position than what it is today, it would save them money, and we would have a better product when it was over and done with. And another one that's a problem with that is the endangered species. There was another woman that was a county commissioner with me when I was in there in the last year, that she said that there is only 40,000 acres that are not encumbered by endangered species, threatened species, wild burros and horses, and historic buildings and roads.
Wow.
Only 40,000 acres in Wyoming that wasn't affected by it.
That's interesting.
So any way you turn, the federal government's there to block anything that happens, and all of those people that would like us to have nothing except for what our ancestors had years ago as a way to take care of ourselves, they could put a roadblock in the way of getting something taken care of on that.
Okay. All right. Well, that was very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there. People just have to be willing to do it. And in the two organizations that two committees that I'm on is corporations and revenue committee. The leadership has been wanting us to raise taxes. One of them is a state income tax, and the other one is a 1% raise in sales tax, and I disagree with that. I believe that there is government that can be cut, and let the businesses out there take that money from the people that are making the money so they can spend it to make our economy healthy. Government does not make the economy healthy by spending money, because they have to steal it from somebody to give it to somebody else.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Roy. I really appreciate it. So thank you again, and please make sure you watch all of the candidate interviews on GPA TV, channel 192. Thank you very much, Roy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.